Welcome back to the channel, guys. I'm Sheldon and this is Behind the Enthusiast. Today we are going to be getting into one of the brand new models from Harley-Davidson in 2025. It's a very anticipated model because, well, maybe this is very similar to a model that we have been asking for. And so this new model is the Pan America 1250 ST. Yes, actually, I kind of predicted this model. So if you guys watched my prediction video, you will know that I said Harley would come out with I predicted they would come out with a ST model, and I actually dubbed my personal build of my Pan America Special an ST build. Now, I wasn't exactly right. However, I was partially right on this prediction, and considering, this prediction was based on Harley following trends in the motorcycling community, they kind of created a new segment, and that segment would be adventure sport. So what we have is the Pan America Special stripped down and called an ST, which is technically sport touring. However, my Pan America Special build is going to be more true to the ST element. Now, the thing that you guys have to keep in mind is the differences between them, but also the price. And this is the big kicker. Both models, the 1250 ST and the Pan America Special for 2025, are $24,999, so $25,000. They are exactly the same, and again, this is Canadian, but when I'm looking at the models, basically you guys have a huge decision to make. You either start with a ready-to-ride adventure bike, or you start with a stripped-down adventure bike, and maybe that's what you want. I don't know. But we're going to talk briefly about the colors on the bikes, and then we're going to dive into all of those major changes, major differences between the Special and the ST. So first color up, billiard gray, very standard color all across the board. And it does look okay. I mean, it's not the greatest, but it does look okay in billiard gray. Vivid black, an additional $375. Now, unless this is a typo on the website, this might very well be the cheapest paint upgrade in Vivid Black for any bike in the lineup this year. So less than $400 for Vivid Black. And to be completely honest, the bike looks super, super sharp in Vivid Black. It just reads really well, the graphics on the side of the bike. And, with all of the changes that were made to it, I mean, I would probably choose the Vivid Black, or if I was okay with spending an additional $700 compared to Billiard Gray, I could get Brilliant Red, or you could get Brilliant Red for that matter. And here's the thing, with me just buying a Pan America Special last year in my favorite color with the blue and the white combo, I'm really not looking to get another bike. So with it being fastback blue, in case you guys forgot the model color, fastback blue, absolutely amazing, but there's no reason for me to really switch over, and I'm going to explain to you guys why. Because there is a really, really long list of changes on the bike, and I'll explain to you guys why you have to be very, picky in the direction that you guys are going in. So taking a look at the bike, we'll go kind of from the front of the bike to the rear of the bike. We have a lower windshield, which is smoked out. Looks really sporty, looks really cool. I do enjoy that. The fairing and the brush guards are completely gone now. They've been removed. We kind of have this Sportster S lower section now on the bike, and the turn signals are actually changed as well. So I think what they've done is the bar that wraps around the front of the headlight assembly, if you will, that now has two brackets on it, so the turn signals come off of that. Now, another big change, which should be pretty obvious, are 17-inch wheels. Now, this obviously is going to lower the bike, and because of the type of tires that are going to be on it, you're going to get a lot more grip as well. We have a lower front fender, which is very sporty to hug that much smaller front wheel, which is really, really nice. We have a blacked out powertrain, very similar to the Sportster S. We have that theme of the black and red. So we have red spark plug wires as well, which look really, really nice. I'm actually considering putting those on my Pan Am and also getting the small cover just below it in black. I think it's a satin black, and I think that will really clean up my bike as well. So I'm really happy that Harley came out with those red spark plug wires. I've been asking for it, you know, some sort of Screaming Eagle variation, and to at least have red, I'm pretty happy about that. So I'm pretty sure I'll end up putting those on my bike as well. Now, the other components that are stripped off of the bike, hopefully you guys can see this, no handguards. We have no handguards, we have no center stand. The seat is now a solid piece. We don't have a passenger and rider portion anymore. So it's one solid piece. However, it has been shaved down, so it's much lower. This bike is really, really dialed in for that sport element. So again, adventure sport, because it is an adventure bike. However, we've just converted it to that sporty road racing type of feel, right? Now, we also have a lightweight exhaust, and you guys can kind of see this either from the left or the right of the bike. The massive bread box that we had in there, that is completely removed. That still remains on the Special, but on the ST, they got rid of it. And you can also see at the bottom of the muffler, the collector portion, if you will, has two holes in it. So that looks really, really cool. I don't think I can use that on my bike. Plus, it's not really worth it for me to buy that and put it on my bike, because the weight savings are very, very minimal. I mean, there's just two holes in it. But in terms of swapping out the muffler completely, I mean, if someone was taking theirs off and I was to buy it off of them, maybe that would make sense. But, and again, this is why I'm kind of snowballing a little bit early on, you know, the changes between the two models, you know, them both being the exact same prices here. So again, we've got those red spark plug wires, which look really, really nice. We also have a quick shifter on the bike. So this is basically just adding on to that sporty element of the bike. The other thing that you will probably notice, especially if you throw your leg over this model, is the suspension. The suspension is lowered. I actually sat on this model at the motorcycle show that I went to with my dad, and I was very much flat-footed. This is a combination of the lowered suspension and lowered seat as well. Now, something to keep in mind, they still offer the adaptive ride height on the North American models. I think this is actually a default thing on the bikes. So when the bike does come to a stop, it does lower again. Same thing on my bike. And so for someone who's, let's say, really, really short, or you guys had problems sitting on the Pan America Special, and maybe this was, you know, a huge deciding factor, maybe this was something that was holding you guys back from buying this model, well, now that is definitely not an excuse anymore. You have three ways of lowering the bike. So you have the shaved down seat, the lower suspension, and you still have the adaptive ride height. So you have three things lowering it all down. We also have some new foot pegs on there. So they have the wear pegs on them, and maybe, I don't know how far you're gonna be leaning the bike over, but you might end up hitting those. So this is a very, very long list, but at the end of the day, in order for you guys to decide whether or not this bike is right for you, you have to look at what you are getting. So a Pan America Special, we're not talking about paint options really, we're talking about what you're actually getting. So if you like a particular color, well, guess what? You can just wrap the bike or you can paint the bike, and wrapping is generally cheaper. You can also tin swap if you really want to. So that is pretty straightforward. However, in terms of a lot of work, let's say labor, well, let's start with the wheels. The wheels, they're probably going to be pretty straightforward. However, the rims, I did briefly check some of the prices on these, and I think the rims were about $900 to $1,000 each. Now, I might have only been looking at the front rim. I don't really remember, but let's say they're both $1,000 each. Just for debate's sake, you have a whole bunch of money wrapped up into rims and tires. So unless you're going to, trade with somebody else, it's not really worth it. So you have that expense. You have a different seat, which is not that big of a deal. However, the components that are stripped off of the bike, like the fairing and the brush guard, and then to go and have to buy something else or potentially have to buy a new rad because the rad supports and everything are probably going to be different. Looking into this more and more, you basically have to decide before you sign on the dotted line which model is right for you. Now, this does make things a lot easier because, the engine's the same. All you really have to worry about is what you want, right? Are you going to want to go off-roading with well, actually, let me rephrase that. Do you want to go touring with the option of going off-road? That is more or less the Pan America Special, because for me, I do a lot of on-road riding. Actually, I do only on-road riding. I've never taken it off-road other than to just shoot my video, and that was in my backyard, so it doesn't really count. So when you think about it that way, yeah, it makes sense for me to buy that model. Well, at the time anyway. However, had the ST been brought out before I bought that one, maybe I would have bought the ST, because now I would have a much sportier bike. I would have a bike that is, slimmed down or trimmed down, and it would be a lot lighter for many reasons. It would be very sporty. However, I wouldn't have the option of spoked wheels, but that is one of those trade-offs that you guys have to take into consideration. So it's not straightforward, because if you're looking at it from a price standpoint of, okay, I'm going to spend $25,000 for an adventure bike that I might take off-roading, I don't need to buy the Anaki, whatever tires they are, they're Anakis. I don't need those, so, I don't need the knobby tires. So the tires that actually come on the Pan America Special are, they're good. So I'm set to go. And if I do want to go off-roading just a little bit, or maybe if I hit some gravel roads, maybe I'm traveling somewhere where I'm not too familiar and I got to go down a dirt road or gravel road, it actually comes in handy. So, and that's more or less what I'm doing. So for me, the Pan America Special absolutely makes sense for me, but for you, maybe it doesn't. The ST is more road-oriented, absolutely no off-roading. You could try, but you don't have the ground clearance, the same ground clearance anymore. You don't have the right tires anymore. The wheels, everything, it's all set up for, well, basically canyon carving, stunt riding. Not that I'm condoning stunt riding, but let's say somebody wants to have a stunt bike to perform at shows. The ST model is absolutely going to fit that bill now. and I would not be a bit surprised to see somebody buy one of these and do stunts with it at a show. Also, racing teams, they would make way more sense for them to purchase an ST and modify it however they need, as opposed to buying the Pan America Special and getting all these extra goodies that they don't really need at all. So for those of you guys who want to do stunts or do track days, or, you know, some sort of, you know, parking lot, you know, type of, I don't really know what the word is. It's like a gymkhana. I can't remember what it is at the moment, but you guys can leave a comment down below. I'm just forgetting the word. But, you know, set up pylons in a parking lot and you get timed racing. I can't remember what the name of that is, but a friend of mine did try that. So maybe if you guys are interested in that, that bike, the ST, might actually suit that really well, suit your, you know, your lifestyle, your style of riding. So just some food for thought for you guys. I didn't necessarily want to make a comparison video between the two models, so just wanted to kind of squeeze this in at the end for you guys. And hopefully this helps you guys out. If there's any information that I missed or maybe got wrong, please let me know down below. If you guys like this video, make sure to smash that like button so I know that it's working. And if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing. We are super, super close. Almost at 1,000 subscribers. That is the goal right now. So if you haven't done so, please do. And I hope you guys are really enjoying the content right now. My hand is coming along, so don't worry. I will hopefully be joining you guys very soon out on the open road because the warm weather is right around the corner. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.